Let me tell you a story about what I used to eat on a day to day basis. Every day, I would have ice cream, and some days I'd have chips. And this was fine for me while I was 8 years old, 9 years old, even 10 years old. But once I started hitting puberty, it really started to impact me negatively. And I had to make a change. But I only realized that my diet was a bad was ruining my life very late on, and only recently I had started to improve it about a year ago or so. So after that, I was able to very quickly improve my diet, and today I'm going to go through why and how you can improve your diet as quickly and to as good of a level as I have. So, there are a few things that are horrible for your diet, and we're going to go over which ones you reduce and how and which ones you increase later on depending on your goals. But let's go over the bad things first. Sugar, the main one, is the worst. There's just so many downsides to sugar. There's acne, there's the calories, there's the brain fog of it being a carb, and there's also the diseases like anxiety, depression, cancer, heart disease. All of it that is just bad for you. All of it comes from sugar. So, next one that you're expecting is cholesterol, right? But cholesterol is very often good for you, as it's the one that makes up your whole hormone profile. If you want to have good testosterone, you need to eat a lot of cholesterol. Cholesterol is also very important for your health in general. So, foods that are good for us, like eggs, steak, and cheese, they're very healthy, especially for young men who need to improve their testosterone. So, the cholesterol that people get confused with to think all cholesterol is bad is this processed cholesterol like chips and fries and KFC and McDonald's that's really bad for you. But they make think that now that all cholesterol is bad for them just because that one group of heavily processed and chemicalized cholesterol is bad for them. So, now that we have outlined the problems, why do we want to change our diet? So, the first one, and this is should be a priority for you if you're on self improvement and you want to work on your purpose better, is brain fog. You might notice that throughout the day, after you have a big meal, you just feel like you want to lie down and you feel like you can't possibly get anything productive done. So, this happens because of carbs. I'm not saying you should go without carbs, but I'm saying if you want to improve your brain fog, you should reduce carbs. And let me explain how carbs affect it, because obviously you might not believe me. When you eat carbs for a short period of time, about 1 to 2 hours, you get this glucose energy spike. But after that, you get the sugar crash that people talk about, where you have close to zero energy because your body is breaking down the glucose. And now, next thing is weight loss. This is the reason that most people start diets, and it could be a reason for you. So, for weight loss, there's a lot of things. You can substitute your. You can either eat less, which would make you very, very sad and it would be very hard for you, and that's what most people do, and that's why 95% of diets fail. Or you can do what the 5% of diets fail is replacing your highly caloric foods with less caloric options that taste similar. So instead of ice cream, you can have like frozen fruit. And instead of chips, you could just have like little low fat chips. You know what I mean? Make sure that they're not more processed to remove the calories, but there's always lower calorie options. Like instead of chocolate bars, there's protein bars, there's skim milk, whatever it takes to like think about it. If you just eat, uh, it only takes 300 calories less a day to lose weight. So if you just removed a little 300 calories from your life, instead of eating a 400 calorie bag of chips every day, you ate a 100 calorie bag of chips every day. That alone, because they're filling the same level of satiety, the same level of filling for you, that alone would cause you to lose weight. Just think about that. So, third reason is health improvement. It could be such as skin quality. So that could be eating less sugar, but also eating less processed fats. Because these can be pretty bad for you. They can, as well as sugar, they can cause heart disease and cancer pretty easily. And while you can have this good cholesterol and it's good for you, again, in proportion. You don't want it to make up your whole diet, because anything when in too much quantity is a bad thing. Anything good in exaggeration is bad for you. So, I've gone over all of these, but throughout the video you might be thinking, okay, I know all of this, but how do I actually quit? So, the first tactic to quit junk food is out of sight, out of mind. You put it in a cupboard where you can't reach it, you don't have it available next to you when you're just eating your normal food or when you're working. You make sure that your body and brain doesn't always see it as another option and doesn't want to eat it. Or the even better version, you just don't buy it in the first place, because out of sight, out of mind is really so powerful. Whatever you see very often will be on your mind very often as well. So if you don't have junk food close to you or available to you at all, it makes it very easy. For example, let's say you're in the supermarket and you're passing the junk food aisle. You only have to resist the temptation for the 10 minutes or 30 minutes that you're in the supermarket. But if it's at home, you'll have to resist the temptation 24/7. Every single hour that you spend at home, you could be like, oh, I could eat that chocolate, I could eat that ice cream right now. So, next thing of how to quit isn't necessarily quitting, but just improving your diet, is reading labels. This is so important because we often think that foods that are healthy for us, or even foods that we know that aren't healthy for us, are worse than they seem. Something that seems innocuous but could actually be pretty bad for you is like sweetened yogurt. You think, oh, this is surely good. This low-fat yogurt that they added 14 grams of sugar to, it's horrible for you. And then there's so many examples just like that of foods that pretend to be good for you but are actually really, really bad for you. Examples being like these healthy chip alternatives that still have the same amount of calories. So that's a pretty easy tactic. A third thing, gradually cut out consumption. You can't expect to be able to go cold turkey, because very few people have the discipline to be able to do that. And you might have tried, but after that, most people bounce back harder and binge eat, and they get very demotivated. So you should change up your goals to gradually cut out consumption. Instead of eating ice cream 3 times this week, I'll have it 2 times this week. And then maybe in a few weeks from now, I'll have it 1 time. And then in a month or 2 months, I will have no ice cream for a week. It's things like that, of gradually cutting out the consumption, that is more realistic and also more motivating, because you're hitting your goals and you're hitting your milestones. And then the next one is a tactic for if you're very desperate, but I wouldn't suggest it. So this is using sweeteners, artificial sweeteners for sugars that don't have any calories, because they taste the same as sugar, but they have less calories. So if your goal is weight loss, sweeteners are amazing for you, but make sure to not use them for too long because they can have a pretty bad effect on your health. They can cause, again, depression, anxiety, heart disease, cancer. All of these bad things are associated with sweeteners. And that was my last point for this video. Embrace progress, not perfection. See ya.